Okay, I got my mic working. You should be hearing yourselves now. All right.
I think I. Oh, they heard
There it
me.
is.
YouTube heard me. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, they heard me. YouTube heard me.
Jake, do you want to click the home button in the presentation? No, it's repeating.
So he has a loop somewhere, but I don't know where.
It's got to mute his YouTube.
So why is it? Twice. We're learning something new today, guys. So bear with us. Give us 1 second.
Yeah, it's still looping. Let me mute here.
I don't know why it would. Okay.
No, he's still showing.
I'm muting myself. Does that help? Okay, let's see. I'm muting myself. Does that help? Okay, let's see. Muting myself. Does that help? Okay, let's see. Muting myself. Does that help? Okay, let's see. No, it still heard me twice. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure it's live. I
have nothing. I meant.
Okay. I think it came through. I just had to make sure I was on live. It'll get behind sometimes. I think it came through. I just had to make sure I was on live. It'll get behind sometimes. I think it came through. I just had to make sure I was on live. It'll get behind sometimes. That's exactly what it is, because you're hearing it through me.
Oh.
Because I'm testing it and it's playing through my microphone. That one was that. I could hear that because it was echoey. All right. A little bit. A little bit. All right. I think we're okay. I think that they can hear us.
All right. So are we good, y'all? Okay. So Jake, do you want to flip so we can see the presentation? All right, good morning all. Happy fall. We're experimenting and it's an opportunity for us to keep learning. Amy's got this OBS thing down really well and Jake lost a nose goes, so he's going today. Right, Jake? So it'll be my turn next week. So happy Tuesday, 11/17. How are you all doing today?
Doing good.
Yeah, you need to unmute yourself on the presentation, Jake.
I am unmuted everywhere.
Okay.
I can unmute.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So welcome to Canvas Admin Support. Jake, if you'll click the home button on the presentation.
Yep.
Or
Should
go to the next slide.
I hit home. November, we're there.
Okay. Sorry, there's a delay on my end.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see. All right. First thing up is reminders. Reminders have stayed the same, but there's one new change today, which we have listed, and that is canvas.cmslearns.org has changed. We've been working the last couple weeks to redo this to make it more of a single page web app that's more searchable. One of the issues we had before was telling people go to the teachers page and only having information posted for teachers or for admin. And then what that does is it causes extra work for us. Looks like you might be cached, Jake, to the old one.
So, yeah. There it is.
So this is now searchable. Everything's on one page, and it allows us also, which is really, really cool, to basically we're updating a spreadsheet and it's getting all the different things. So you can use the buttons up top to filter, or you can search, or both. Any kind of combination of them becomes a little bit more dynamic. So please check it out. If you got questions, let us know, and we'll continue to add materials and curate this to help support y'all. All right, Jake, if you want to go back to the presentation. Oh, you're upside down on my camera on one of my screens.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to fix that while we're doing this, so I might just live upside down today.
I think it's great, actually.
Awesome. Yeah, it's not showing up live, so you're good.
I don't know why he's not live, though. That's weird.
So next thing, j.mp/ITPD office hours. If you've got a question during the meeting, or if you're joining us asynchronously as well, that form is open 24/7. We kind of keep an eye on it during the week. And there's the upside down Jake. And continue to submit Sharewell tickets. Be sure to include as many details as possible. Also note that the Canvas chat option is still open. So if you're in Canvas and you click the help button, there's a cute little panda up top and you can click live chat. That's a tool we use on a daily basis pretty much. If you're in our PD support, our PD courses, which is Google Drive Challenge and Canvas Challenge, don't forget to use those, and be patient if there are changes in Canvas 24 to 72 hours. So I had to exercise that patience last week, and it was a little humbling, but it was good. So Jake, if you want to go back to the agenda, that home button should be taking you there. I don't know if I put it to the wrong place or what.
It is.
Okay. So yeah, it's behind on my screen.
Yeah, this is when I usually predict what you're going to do next, and I've already clicked it.
No, I'm there. I clicked it.
Yep, he is there.
It
I know,
takes
I
a
know.
while.
It's
I
just the
see
same
it now.
exact thing. It's just a long process. Yep.
So DLC
updates.
credit in Canvas Admin. We are going to be awarding credit at the end of the school year. So you will see different quizzes at the end of each month based on the 4 or 5 office hours that we provide here, and you'll get additional updates as we go. So look for that sometime next week. We will put it out. It'll be a shorter one this week, fewer videos to look at because it is a shorter month. But yeah, we'll have some questions for you to answer based on the information that we supplied this month and the conversations that we had. So you'll get the credit after the end of the school year for completing all of the quizzes that we provide here. Receiving grades in email, we've had some requests for this, and it's a setting we've enabled. So now all users, including observer accounts, so your parents and families, can go to their Canvas profile. It's just clicking on their icon in the top left corner, go to notifications, and check the box for including scores in the email. So when you get a notification that a teacher has graded the work, you can see the grade right inside of the email. So that's just something we've enabled now, and you'll be able to see that right in your inbox if that's enabled. So you can tell students to turn this on, parents can turn it on. If you're enrolled in courses like for professional development, you could turn it on so that you would see your scores for those courses as well. Images.
I feel like that would be really handy too. Just one less, click, and then you're in the moment. You can just pull it up. I think that'd be really handy.
Exactly. Images from iOS apps. The conversation has happened in different circles. We just want to formalize this, make sure that you know on the iPad, the student app, because of an iOS update, now you have to go into the settings for the app and check this setting, allow cross website tracking, inside of the student app. So you'll see the setting in the student app to allow cross website tracking. Turn that on and you'll be able to see images. Unfortunately, we cannot push an update out to that. I think Sagan's response was from Apple, pound sand, basically. There's nothing we can do. Apple is trying to give the end user complete control of their privacy, and that is part of it. So whether or not you want a website to be able to reach out and get other materials, apparently this toggle has to be turned on. It's really weird. I don't understand it because the images are hosted in Canvas using the app that references Canvas, and yet we have to turn that on in order for images to show. So it's not like it's going somewhere outside of Canvas to get it. It's not a different website. So I'm not sure why, but it is an iOS enhancement that we are seeing that makes it so that students will have to check this box in order to continue to use the iPads and the student app to see images. And that took a while to figure out even that was what was going on. So everyone knows about that. Elementary schools, please make sure that you discuss that with your students. Modules not loading. We've discussed the fix for that. We don't have a link specifically, but especially elementary schools again and the iPads, when you have a long list of modules and you link students to go to a specific module, the modules page just doesn't load in time to get to the specific module referenced. And that's because all of quarter one modules are above it and still visible for the student to see. So it just takes a long time for the students to load all of the modules. The quickest fix is to just unpublish quarter one modules or move quarter two modules above quarter one. Both will work. Both are valid options.
Well, and this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing for the elementary kids.
Indeed.
The other thing that we've been suggesting is link directly to the first page of the module. This will avoid that issue as well.
Yeah, so a couple of different ways to fix it, and that's what we've been communicating is support comes in for it, and we just tell them to do those things, and it fixes it. So it's an unfortunate way to do it, but that's the only thing we can, only advice we can give on this. With the iPads, it does require a little extra work there. The modules just won't load in time in order for the student to get to that without doing those changes. The RCE editor, Rich Content Editor RCE, is changed a little bit. You can go in and out of full screen for editing, which is pretty cool. Lets you really see the content that you're editing a little more, and that's just this full screen, 2 arrows going diagonally there, or Control Shift F to go to full screen, and to go out of full screen, Control Shift F. You can also get there by going into the edit section here. Oops.
I think Amy added this one because she had encountered some people that had gone full screen, didn't
Yeah.
realize it, and how do you get out of it very quickly? The Control Shift F is the way to quickly do that.
Yeah.
It was actually me, so I actually got
Oh.
stuck in it. I
Awesome.
I did it, and I was like, "How do I get out of this?" Intuitively, you can also hit escape, and it'll get you out of it. But I didn't feel like it was super intuitive to figure out how to get out of it. So I can totally see somebody accidentally clicking on that and then being like, "What do I do to save it?"
Yeah.
So I think that's just like a really helpful thing for us to talk about.
So once you get here, you're in full screen. How do you get out? Well, Control Shift F. There's also in view. You can click the full screen to disable
there's a
it.
view indicator. Yeah.
Another thing to note there, we don't have it in the announcements, but the embed now is a cloud icon. So it's different than it used to be. It used to be over here further to the left in the editor. It's the last thing, the embed button, and then you just put the embed code right in the box. So slight change there.
The other change I noticed, Jake, is they moved the plug icon to the middle.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's less likely to go off the screen. I had to really shrink it down in order to get, it to show up under the 3 dots.
Yeah. So lots of different tools you can use in there, and it varies depending on the school that you're at as to what other external tools may be added. But the plug icon is where you find those things, like the Google Drive LTI, Google Hangouts meetings, Khan Academy, Learn Zillion, all that is going to be in there. So cool. Let's go back. All right. Next, how to enable Zoom in course navigation. We didn't discuss who's going to do this. I can do it if y'all would like. So
Pretty straightforward.
we just got Zoom for district-wide use. We have an enterprise license. So with that, Zoom does integrate into Canvas, and we have enabled the integration. But there's one last step that teachers would need to do in their course. They need to go to the course navigation and enable Zoom in order to see things. So I can go into the settings for this course. And this is just a demo course that I'm working in, and go to navigation. And down at the bottom of the disabled section, so it's below the separator here, all of the ones below that are going to be disabled, and I can just drag Zoom up to the top. I could even put it above the home page if I wanted to. Nope, I can't put it above home. I'm putting it at the very top, before home, or just after home, and then save. That's the important thing. A lot of people will enable things in the navigation, but then they think they're done and they just move on. This is a page that has a save button. Sadly, the save button is buried at the bottom, so you have to click the save button. And once you do that, now Zoom shows up in your course navigation over here on the left. So when I click on that, it's going to show my Zoom profile and my meetings. Okay, so I can schedule a new meeting right here, and it will be scheduled for this course. So all participants in this course could click on Zoom and see your scheduled meetings. It is comparable to the conferences option in Canvas, but it is not in the same place as conferences. So you could disable conferences, you probably have anyway, because we don't have licenses enough to use Big Blue Button district-wide at the level we would. So I would disable conferences and enable Zoom and use this. So you can schedule meetings here for your course, and students will see them and can join them right from inside of Canvas. So that is really all there is to using Zoom inside of your course. So yeah, that was a big, very, very quick how-to. There's really not a whole lot else that we have for settings for that. It's how Zoom is configured, pretty quick and easy to begin using. Support, if you have any issues with Zoom, you can contact the support in here as well. There's training, so you can get training. I'm just clicking on the button there. You got live webinars and different training here, and then contact support. And it will ask you to authenticate to your CMS with your CMS credentials at some point here, but then you can have live support right here with Zoom for any support needs. All right. I think that's about it for that one, isn't it? So yeah, this is going to be a shorter meeting for us for new material. The things we've talked about. We've got a couple of questions, but a reminder, j.mp/ITPD office hours for any questions that come in. We have a few already up. I'm just going to show those. Let's see. Jeanette is asking, how can I import students into a course? So this is a question that was written before the meeting even. So hopefully Jeanette is here, but if not, she'll hear it later. Wants to import students into a course. It's media, and I need to have all students imported. Well, the first thing is you need all student IDs that you want to add. All right, so you would go talk to your data manager for PowerSchool and get them to export all of the students. And then you would have a list of students that you'd be able to work with. So you would then take that info and go into your course. And let's say this is the course that you want to add. You go to the People tab, and then you plus People. Now you could take the student IDs that you're given and add the @student.cmsk12ncus to them, but instead what I'd recommend doing is click on the login ID and just paste the student IDs. So you're adding them by their login ID. Their login ID is their student ID, which you get directly from PowerSchool. You paste those in, click next, and it will then invite all of the students to the course. This is the method that we encourage you to use because it's something you can do, and it doesn't involve creating a course in PowerSchool, which you can't really do for a school-wide course. But that would be the only alternative to this, is to create it in PowerSchool, and then it would sync in. So you invite them to the course with the login ID, and then you will see pending next to their name until they actually visit the course. Once they visit the course, pending goes away, and they are in there fully. So just paste their student IDs in here and then add users by login ID, paste them in, and click next. Now their role, you would want to pick the student role. I can't pick the student role in this course because it's a Blueprint course. That's why I'm not able to see that there. But anyway, you'd choose student, add them by login ID, and they're in. So it's a pretty easy process as soon as you have the student IDs that you need to add to them. That's the biggest hurdle. Once you have that, paste them, invite them, and you'll be going.
Really cool. At the top, it'll say resend invitation for people who have not accepted the invitation.
Yes.
So like, especially with high schoolers, it's a great idea, like a week later, to press a resend and send them another invitation to remind them that it's important to join the course. We do this for the Butler home base, and trust to resend the invitation a couple of times in order to get most of the kids in there. So that's just a good idea to kind of check on that.
I've done that with staff as well.
Yeah, staff might be worse than students, to be honest. Yeah.
So George's question, you cannot enable Zoom at the admin's level to all courses. It's either there's no way to do it at your level to enable Zoom for all the courses. It's not a setting that you can turn on or off by school. But it's by course that it has to be turned on, unfortunately. All right, thank you for the Zoom information, including the course. Yes, so Trish is adding course information. I think the number got cut off. There it is. So cms.instructure.com/courses /422371. Okay, is that the one that's in the
I think that's the
navigation?
Zoom 101 training, I think.
Trish, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you got it.
Apologies. I may have missed something on our schedule. Were we supposed to add a link to that in the resources? If so, I will do that. Please follow up with an email for me, Trish, reminding me if that's where we needed to put it, because I'm not seeing it here, and I vaguely remember we discussed locations for Zoom. So if that needs to go in the resources, let me know. But very good.
Jake, and that's something we can add to our. I think I have a Zoom slide in the Canvas.cms Learns. We can add it there as well.
Okay. What do students see when they click the Zoom button in my Canvas course? So what the students will see is the Zoom meetings that you've scheduled for that course. They don't see all of your meetings. They only see the ones scheduled for that course in that view when they go there. That's my understanding of it. I've had limited testing. That's what I saw, but mileage may vary. We will see as we go. But students, they won't see other meetings that you have not invited them to. They would see the meetings that you have scheduled for that course. And the only thing I'm wondering, they might see Zoom meetings scheduled by other teachers for other courses when they click on the Zoom button in your course. But they would not see all of your courses, or all of your meetings, just the ones you've scheduled for that course. All right. Put this into Canvas already, but why would some grades not sync to PowerSchool and others have? All right, so Brianna, the biggest thing to check when you do that is the grade sync page. All right, so let's talk about grade sync. I'm going to go find a course here. And Amy, if you can think of a course that would be good, that would show grade sync and involve people that we're not concerned with showing some info.
Yeah, I gotta.
Let me see what I can
I had
find.
one from I have one from yesterday. I just gotta check and see if I can get it to the right place for you.
So the thing with grade sync is that it happens all in succession. There are concurrent processes, and so first thing that GradeSync's going to do is look at all the assignments you are scheduled to send to PowerSchool, and it's going to check to see if that course has that assignment in PowerSchool already or not. Make sure that every section for that course has that assignment already, and it will create it if it can. If it can't create the assignment, it creates an error and all things stop. The sync stops, okay? So you might be able to get all of the assignments created in PowerSchool, but then the next thing it's going to do is award grades to the students, pass the grades over. Well, when it tries to pass the grades over, maybe a student is in the wrong place. Maybe another assignment has a due date that's from Q1. Grades won't pass until you fix that issue. So the important thing you need to do is check the grade sync page. I don't know if I'm just going to random select a course and go to grade sync, see if we have anything here, any information. Yeah, this one doesn't have any, but the grade sync page in the course is where you will see
I just
errors.
sent you one.
Perfect.
I just sent one that has the error too, which is a great example.
That's what I wanted. Thank you.
Yep. I just couldn't remember which one it was at first.
We'll put it here. All right.
Yep.
So Yeah, great. So we see lots of different things happening here. So we see some failed and some completed and completed with exclamation point. These errors, when you see the red exclamation point, you click that, you will see what it's telling us. Um, grade has not, exchange has not finished. So that just means it timed out. A lot of people trying to pass grades and just something
Maintenance weekend.
happened, try it again, and it completed on the 15th. Something happened on the 16th. So if we click on the completed link where the error is, it tells us unable to create an assignment. The assignment is locked. This is commonly an issue, and what you're describing, Brianna, where the grades are not syncing to PowerSchool, it's usually this one. The assignment is locked. So they have an assignment titled, what was it? Yeah, Unit 1, Rotation versus Revolution. So this title in the assignment, and we can go and search that in the assignments list, and what we're going to find is it was due in Q1. Because it was due in Q1, they had to fix that. It looks like they did. They unchecked Sync to PowerSchool for that assignment, and now the grades are syncing, right? You cannot push grades from Q1 to PowerSchool at this point, right? The window to push those grades has closed. PowerSchool will not accept them. So if Canvas is trying to push grades to PowerSchool from Q1, you will get errors and grades will not pass. You have to turn off syncing grades from Q1 assignments, and then Q2 assignments will sync up to PowerSchool, and the grades, student grades, will sync up. But until then, yeah, grades won't pass. So the grade sync page tells you this. If you see errors, review what the errors are telling you. If you're not sure what the errors are telling you, put in a ticket, but that's where you need to look. Tell your teachers to look there. The biggest issue is Q1 assignments are selected to sync, and they need to be deselected to sync grades. What's the other one? Yeah.
The wrong assignment groups.
Yes.
So they're not in the ones with the icons that are set to do grade passback. I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, so if you look at the assignments page, see we've got this one is set to grade passback. Informal is set. It has the icon telling us that you can pass the grades that are in here. But now this one that's due on September 4th, Unit 2 vocab, if the Sync to PowerSchool button right here was checked, they'd get errors and their grades would not sync because this is an assignment from Q1. So we can't prevent them from rechecking these boxes, but if they do, it will create errors. You can only have things in second semester. So an October 23rd due date is fine. That one can sync. Same for these ones in December. So they're set to sync because they have due dates in second quarter.
And this was a teacher who had accidentally clicked it. So in the process of like scrolling down this page, she thought she was clicking for one and clicked for another because the page took a while to load. But what I was really impressed because this teacher actually came to me and was like, "Hey, guess what? I used the grade sync page successfully."
Yay.
And so she told me about it. So that's how I knew this example because she said she went to the grade sync page. What was great was she was like, "Well, it looked all codey and scary at first. When I read it, I realized it told me the title of the assignment. I went to the assignments page, figured out exactly which one I needed to uncheck, and then she was able to sync it properly." So again, there is no reason a Canvas admin needs to actually be there to do this for a teacher. We need to empower our teachers to learn how to read that grade sync page for themselves and help them learn how to do this themselves. So this was a teacher that was that example where she actually took what we had said about learning how to use that grade sync page and put it into practice and was able to sync her grades without necessarily having to come to me. She just came to me to say she was excited she used it properly. So, that's one way you can use that grade sync page, but really it's not about you using it. It's about you using it to teach your teachers how to use it. That's the key piece there.
So
Yeah.
in summary, syncing to PowerSchool, that button right there, should only be green for assignments due after October 16th. Okay, if it's green and the assignment is on or before October 16th, their grades will not sync. Or if they've checked Sync to PowerSchool for an assignment group that does not have the icon showing right next to the title, the icon showing that it is set to sync to PowerSchool, right? The assignment group has to have this icon here. And if it doesn't, then grades would not sync. None of these are published, so I can't, yeah, so maybe, yeah, if any of these assignments were published, then they'd have the grade sync button. And if that was checked, then this assignment group is going to cause errors, right? So you have to be in an imported assignment group, meaning has the icons, and the assignment is due after October 16th.
There is one other error, Jake, I can think of, and that's the creation of new sections with students moving around on the schedules.
That
And
will
we're
happen.
still seeing, yeah, we saw what, 80 new courses yesterday or something.
Yeah.
So if they are adjusting the schedules for the various reasons that are happening right now, and the assignment groups were already there, the teacher will need to re-import those assignment groups if it's a new section. So what we're seeing is it will not catch that section sometimes. So you need to re-import the assignment groups and then let it run sync. The other thing is if you select everyone when you're assigning to a group, instead of selecting everyone, select the individual sections individually. So those couple of things.
All right. Let's check the next question. The Canvas student, Canvas parent apps, and icon are coming off the iPads. The reset is not working to erase, reload, or update the iPad to help this problem. How can we get these apps put back on the iPads? How are they coming off the iPads? I don't, unless they've been removed by a request to remove them. I don't know. But if you need those icons back, it would be a help desk ticket. You need those apps reinstalled on the iPad. You'd put in a ticket requesting it. I am not aware of them being removed, but if they are, that would be a help desk ticket to request them be added.
And there's an iPad queue, correct?
Correct.
Because that would not be
Specifically
something we can do.
in support, yeah. You send it to us, we're going to send it to the iPad team because we can't install apps on iPads. We don't have that access. All right. To see images, you mentioned changing the iPad setting. Yes. Go to settings, then student app. Yes. Do you mean Canvas student app? Yes. Safari? No. Not Safari. Not Safari. You do not do this in settings for Safari. You have to do it in settings for the Canvas student app. And I think it is just called student in the iOS settings. So you go there and check it. So for Safari, it looks different than it does for Canvas. In the Canvas student app, it'll say allow cross-website tracking, and then it's something like disable cross-website tracking. It's the opposite in Safari. So for the student app, you have to turn it on. For Safari, you don't need to change it at all. So you got to go into settings and go to the student app, not Safari. Thank you for that clarification, Anne, because yeah, I'm sure that I had the exact same confusion when I first did it too. So the student app is where you need to do this. All right. Brianna's following up. How do I know which teacher it is, though? Gives codes and not teacher names. And I'm not sure what you're referring to. You were asking earlier about grades syncing to PowerSchool. You'd know the teacher because it's their course.
It's in the people section as well. You can look it up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure what that question is, what you're referring to there, Brianna. All right. Just trying to remember. Students submitted work in Canvas. Then their assignment is marked submitted, but disappears for the teacher to view. No, they can still see the assignment. If they go to SpeedGrader, they can see assignments. Even if they've submitted and graded it, they can still see it.
Oh, the student submitted DocX.
this is a docx issue, the teacher gets an error message. It's like HTML something or
Yeah.
other. What needs to happen is the student needs to download their file, their docx, from their Google Drive locally first, file upload. And if they do it that way, it will be visible. Or before the teacher assigns this assignment, the teacher needs to convert it from a docx to an actual Google document. So it does not have the .docx at the end of the title at the top. And that will also prevent students from having to deal with this issue.
Ultimately,
so
that's
we've
the
talked about
better
it a couple
approach.
times. Yes,
Yeah.
ultimately,
Make
yes.
it a Google document if you're going to use Google assignments for grading. It should be native Google that you're using, right? Using a Word document file format is not advisable for a Google assignments product. That would be the best thing. Yeah, make it Google native. Would be the easiest answer to give, but there might be some resistance to that, of course. But it's better for the teacher to be inconvenienced than every single student who's trying to make it work.
Well, and to follow up, because she's saying it's not a docx issue, that you just can't submit using the same way with Google Drive if it's not a native Google file.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Wit's asking, when I enabled Zoom in my Canvas, it says no data. Well, make sure that you are signed in to Zoom with your CMS account. If you use your CMS account and you're signed in, that should take care of it. Sure.
Part about Student View that he's asking about, though, it's an external tool, so we would not expect Student View to work correctly. So you would not be able to see it in Student View because the Student View account does not have a Zoom account, if that makes any sense. So you're same like with Google Drive, LTI, and any external tool, Student View is not going to work correctly with that. But it could be, Whitney, that you are still signed into multiple Google accounts, and that could be causing a conflict since our Zoom accounts are being authenticated with our CMS Google account. So I wonder if that's the issue. If so, there's a bit.ly/CMS Google account. We've got it posted in the previous admin hours to help you clean up your Google accounts. I would suspect that might be the issue. Or the Zoom account hasn't been licensed yet, one or the other.
Yep. All right, PowerSchool Admin is unlocking gradebooks from November 19th to 23rd for teachers to make corrections for Q1 grades. Just to be clear, at this point, if teachers make changes in PowerSchool for Q1, Canvas will not revert the grades since the sync is off. Andrea, that is correct. Canvas cannot update grades for Q1 as of today, right? Or actually, as of a couple of weeks ago. That the PowerSchool will not allow that. Well,
so that would need
wait
to
a
be
minute.
a manual.
If we are unlocking the gradebooks to allow teachers to make corrections, it might. It might. So if the teacher still has a box checked to sync grades for that quarter, this is news to me. Did anyone here know that they're opening up grade books like that?
I just got an email, but we were alive.
Okay.
So
it's good for us to know. Good for us to be aware of these things, indeed. Yeah, if that box is checked to sync and it's a Q1 grade, it might update. So if the teacher is overriding what's in Canvas, they need to make sure that they are not syncing Canvas grades to PowerSchool for that assignment that they just overrode. Because if they do, then when they sync from Canvas, it will write over what they just wrote in PowerSchool. Right? So it's no different than them typing the grades in PowerSchool. If they sync to PowerSchool from Canvas, it's just like them typing the grade in PowerSchool. Yeah, that could cause some issues. We're going to have to follow up and find out exactly what's going on there. News to us. All right. So Connie says, it's not a docx issue. I'm just confirming the info. Okay.
I think her question was just like her going through and explaining what she understood it to be, which I think from what I was reading, it seemed to make sense.
Yeah,
But Connie, you
what
and
you
I
were
did.
saying is accurate.
Yeah.
We're just arguing it'd be better to not use Microsoft X file extensions in general. Just do it in Google. Make the files in Google. Okay. So next, some of our iPads do not have the website tracking option. So Bo, you'd have to, that iPad probably doesn't have an update. It is the latest update to iOS that has this, but also you have to go to the student apps settings, right? So in iOS, there's a settings app, and in there, in the settings app, you scroll down until you see the Canvas student app. And when you select that, there would be this cross-site tracking toggle. So if you don't see it, it's an older version of iOS. And that iPad at some point will be updated, and when it is, that's when you'll have this issue. Default is off, unfortunately, and there's nothing we can do at the district to default it to be on instead.
I'm going to look at our iPad here that we have for school just to make sure too.
Yep. All right. Next, we have Canvas app student settings, part 2. So what am I missing? When I go to the student in settings, I do not see a setting that says allow cross website tracking. I see an option for Siri search and see. Yeah.
It could be just what you were just saying. I wonder if this device has not been updated.
Yeah, you got to make sure the device is in the latest version of iOS. That it was a very recent update that this came out in, so it's probably that device has not been updated if you're not seeing it. Let's see which version.
Yeah, mine didn't have it, so I'm running the update now.
Yeah. 14.1. That's the version I have on my phone that shows the setting. It might be 14.0 as well, but I know 14.1 has it. And you need to enable it. If it's not in 14, if it's 13, it's probably not there yet. Okay. But again, j.mp/ITPD office hours if you have any questions. It's really weird having my camera upside down. Not sure.
It's been very entertaining. I'm trying to figure out if like you've just decided to defy gravity. That's what I've decided.
He is a science teacher.
My plants want to be on the floor. They don't want to hang anymore.
You're going to start walking with all their arms up in the air. That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in 14.0.1, but I'm running an update. It says estimated time we're leaving, but nothing. Yeah.
14.1 is
Okay.
probably where that is then.
It's like watching paint dry.
Indeed it is.
It's like getting the kids to clean up too. Watching paint dry.
Oh my, Trish, I know you're still watching. Thank you for sending that email. That's wonderful. She just showed me a picture of her brain cactus next to a very happy looking jade. I am jealous. That's beautiful. Very cool. Anyway, thank you, Trish. All right, more questions. Connie says, I don't know if I like looking up Jake's nose. Yes, all right, that's I'm like trying to look down but look up still, so it's not like my nose is right there. But yeah, it's a little weird. Sorry about that.
Awesome. Now he's got his hand in front of his mouth. He's all self-conscious.
On our updated iPads, I found cross-site tracking under Safari. Yeah, that's not where you're going, Rachel. do not go to Safari and do that. You need to do it in the Canvas app settings, or the settings app for student, for the Canvas student, not Safari. I cannot
They should
emphasize
change
this
that name.
enough. We've said it a few times now. Do not mess with the Safari settings. It's not there. The issue with images not showing in the student app is not a Safari problem. It's a student app problem. So you got to go to settings for the student app and not for Safari. If you don't see it in the student app settings, you are in an older version of iOS. Speaking of iOS update, and having to log in, update, restart, and log in numerous times to get the latest update. 86. You're talking about Chrome if you're saying 86. iOS isn't in version 86. Is there no way to get straight to the latest? So I believe, Donna, you're talking about a Chrome. And the problem is if it wasn't like in version 84 or 5, no, you have to do a full OS update. And you may have to do it multiple times because that Chromebook hasn't been logged in months, or possibly half a year or a year. So what that's telling you is this Chromebook has not been used. And that's why you have to do it multiple times to log in, right? So it's just been sitting on a shelf somewhere. They're not necessarily at your school. Maybe you got it from the depot, it was repaired, and it's not in the latest OS. I'm not accusing you of not using the Chromebook. I am just saying the reality is that Chromebook is very, very stale. And there's no way to do an immediate jump without having a USB drive configured for that model of Chromebook with the latest version of Chrome OS on it. Which can be done, but it's probably faster to just do what you're doing.
Yeah, it can only do a certain number of Chrome OS updates at a time. So if it's like 10 behind, which I've seen, especially if you get a device from the depot, you'll find that you have to do one update and it'll skip ahead a couple, and then you got to do it again and it'll skip a couple more. But it can't do like 10 updates in one go. Like it can't go from 75 to 86 in one go. It has to kind of bunny hop, if you will, and do a couple at a time before you get all the way up to the 86.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty common problem. Yeah,
And
unfortunately, I know your pain there, Donna. I do. I know exactly where you're coming from on that one. It's painful.
She just confirmed, yes, it's Chrome. She
Yeah.
sent another message you can't see
got
there.
from the depot, yeah.
Yeah.
I would recommend that you put in that feedback to the ticket concerning this Chromebook that it was returned with a Chromebook with an outdated version of Chrome OS, and just letting them know that this is an issue if it is for you to have to update them that frequently.
It can
Well, and
take
they
lots
listen
of time.
too. I know in the years past I've given them feedback and they
Yeah.
implemented things that have been helpful for us.
All right, so in Zoom and Canvas, can you add meetings for specific sections where the other sections will only see the meeting for their section? All right. Hey, Beth, hope you're doing well. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Haven't seen her in a while.
But, anyway, so sections. Yes, you can do that in Zoom, but not just from the Canvas part of it. You have to configure the breakout rooms and all of that. And I am not very well versed in that. None of us have really used Zoom for that purpose. But you, as a teacher, you can configure breakout rooms, and then you could assign which students go to it. That would be how you do it. You create the meeting so everyone can join, but you create the breakout rooms for just specific students. The other way to do it would be to schedule a Zoom meeting outside of the Canvas Zoom page. Just go to your Zoom account, schedule a meeting, get the link, and then create an assignment and just invite the students that you want, or email just the students that you want. There are different ways to accomplish this. It just may not be the easy button where I just click and it says, hey, what students do you want? Now, it may not be that easy, but you have tools to address this, more than one, actually, of ways you could accomplish this. So it's just a matter of thinking about what's possible and applying it. That would be my answer. There is no way to assign just to specific students from the Zoom page of the course. So when you schedule a meeting, you can require registration, have a waiting room. Yeah. Then you can add alternative hosts, so you could add your co-teachers to be able to start the meeting without you right there. But there is no way to make the breakout room ahead of time so that only certain students would see it. Very good. Let's see, Trish. Yeah, thank you, Trish. You contact Digital Innovation if there are questions. We'd be happy to help. How do we contact Digital Innovation, Trish? Is that an email, or what do you have for that for them, so they know how to get a hold of you? That would be great. Another Zoom question: do students need to re-authenticate and log out and log back in to get to the enterprise account? We have heard, I know for staff that's true. They have to just reset. For students, I don't think that the students were the issue from what I recall. And I know Trish is listening here. She might be able to join in. Is there a link like we use for teachers? I believe it's just the teachers that will need to do that. And that's why we were only given the information for teachers to have to do that, because the students, they should not have to. It's my understanding.
But the students might need to restart their Chromebook in
Right.
general.
Yes.
Like in general, I'm finding that a lot of students do not restart their Chromebook frequently enough. And 99.9% of all issues they have with Zoom, with Google Meet, with Canvas, with pretty much anything on the Chromebook is because they just need to power it down and start fresh. It's amazing that fixes literally 99% of all Chromebook issues for students these days.
Indeed.
So what you're saying is today's meme was spot on.
Yes. Just restart it. Yes. Yes.
Right. So I'm going to answer Connie's question next, but Trish already replied that students do not need the Zoom accounts. They should just be joining with a link, so that should not be a problem. But refreshing, just logging out and logging into the Chromebook, if there are issues, that's a great first step regardless. But students will not need to do a reset of their Zoom account at all. Thank you, Trish. Oh, and she also added her contact info. Shoot. Patricia.cloud@CMS K12NCUS. She's for questions they have concerning Zoom. So Connie's asking, other than the issues I stated earlier, is there any other reason why student submissions would disappear for teachers? The problem is, when you say student submissions, are we talking about a Canvas native assignment, or are we talking about some external tool that a teacher applied for their course that like students do the work in like Desmos and submit it? Or like, so there's a lot of nuance where we're just talking about assignments in general, depends on the classification. If it's a Canvas native assignment, students submitted work, and then the student's work disappears, that should be that's for Canvas support. As the teacher should go to the live chat and explain what is happening to find out what happened to those files. The only time I can think of when files have been deleted is because we were requested to do it, because what the student submitted was content that should not be saved here, and the teacher does not want to have access to it. We will run some actions to remove it, but it's really complicated to remove files, to make them disappear. Once a student submits a file, it should be visible to the teacher, and the teacher should always be able to see it. So finding out if that is an issue, that would be for a Canvas native assignment. If students' submissions are disappearing, that's get with Canvas support, go in the live chat, and they'll be able to work with them directly and find out what happened to that submission. But that should not be happening for Canvas native assignments. They're using other tools, external resources from the internet to submit work. Not sure. Mileage will vary. Based on the info in the Zoom 101 course, students are not in an enterprise account. Correct.
You don't. It shouldn't be.
Oh, I muted Justin. All right. So, yeah, students are not in enterprise accounts. So that's good. Good. Let's see what's next. Student submissions from Google. Yeah, if students submitting from Google for the assignment, there's a lot of nuance there. We have 2 different versions of Google submissions right now. There's the original, the legacy one, and then there's the new Google Assignments LTI. The original one, we did not remove it because there were already assignments created for the school year with it, and it would break if we removed that option for teachers to submit or students to submit with them. But yeah, I would be talk with Canvas support and see what they can do to answer those questions about it. Google Assignments might push back and just say, well, that's a Google issue, but start with the Canvas live support, that chat support, and see what you can get for answers on that. Thank you, Andrew. Glad to hear it's working for you. Let's see.
I cannot get that to copy easily. I'm trying. I might have to get the spreadsheet.
Yeah, so the trick is you select it all.
Yeah.
Don't let
go. Press Control C while you've selected, then come up here and paste. Well, the person who developed it wasn't that good. He's kind of a flaky developer, and to be fair, I do believe he wrote this application like while he was at a conference and right before presenting in front of 200 people. He just put it together real quick, and then he used it during the pandemic at the beginning of it, and he hasn't had a chance to look back at it, so maybe that might be why. But
it might need to move from it might need a new
version. Might need to talk about his boss about his.
They should update things, shouldn't they? They're getting stale. But yeah, select the whole thing, press Control C, and it'll work. Okay, so that takes us to this link, and what is the statement here?
They're saying
we found this. Okay.
Yeah.
Student submissions disappear. Okay, give us just a moment to read this, or a couple minutes over. Thank you for participating with us. So we're going to read and hopefully answer right here live, but I'm going to cover my nose so that you don't get a close-up.
I'm going to call out Amy for laughing at my crying child.
That
is
your
cruel,
children.
Amy.
I was more so laughing at you, not your children, because I love your children, as they know. Yeah.
He had a meeting that he thought he missed that wasn't there anymore, and he blamed me for not taking it off the calendar. So,
was this Jackson or Liam?
That was Jackson.
I sounded like Jackson. That's what I thought I was going to say. Because Liam would have been in your lap. That's why I figured it was Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Mean old dad.
Yeah.
It's a good tip to view the page history on that. As I'm reading Connie's thing, what she sent us.
Yeah.
That's something we do as well.
Yeah, so they're saying, contact live support. They say support ticket within structure, but just go to live chat inside of the help icon in Canvas Give them the details of the assignment, the student's username, date, time of submission, and they'll be able to trace what happened. But he says what he's saying before that is it's usually user error. The student submitted to a different assignment in that course or submitted to an assignment in a different course with the same name. So both are possible. I'm not saying that that's what's happening here, but if you've eliminated all other everything else, have the teacher go to live chat and explain what's going on. But they have to be specific. They have to explain what student, when did it happen, and what assignment.
The URL to the assignment is very, very helpful.
Yeah, extremely.
My question would also be, is the student using a personal device or a Chromebook? Because further down, they talk about using other browsers. And that is definitely like, that can be an issue too. Also, just is Google Chrome updated if they are using their Chromebook?
And Jake, on the new update for Canvas at CMS Learns, I did add the new stuff for fixing drive errors that we're seeing with the LTI in terms of how to confirm that the right account is linked up to Canvas and how to switch that.
I'm excited about that, Justin. Canvas.cms Learns looks so pretty now. It's got pretty buttons.
Yeah, you're welcome on the buttons.
All right, we got one last question. Denise, thank you for sticking around. Can I get clarification on the grade sync when PowerSchool is unlocked? We just learned about this, so we don't really have a lot of clarification yet, Denise. Will first quarter grades definitely update if synced? Yeah, we don't know. We don't know exactly what they're enabling or disabling, and so yeah, we can't answer that yet. We learned about it at the same time as you concerning this. So yeah, so it sounds like teachers will be able to update grades in PowerSchool for first quarter. That's what we understand, but we have to even confirm that. And if that is the case, then we're going to have to do the research to figure out, will grade sync work for first quarter for what they are doing? We don't know. We're learning it as soon as you are. We will work on it and we will update in office hours, or we'll send a specific update later this week if we learn enough info about it to tell you something. Right now, it's unknown for sure what's going to happen. I anticipate if, and that's a big if grade sync will work for first quarter starting on the 19th, then that means that any grades that you manually enter in PowerSchool and then click grade sync, if those assignments in Canvas are checked to sync to PowerSchool, they'll write over whatever the teacher has done to change those grades. Right, so yeah, it's going to be confusing, and we'll have to write up a better answer to this. I can't give a real good, concise answer that's going to just make sense, because there's a lot we don't know about what is being proposed and what it will actually be done for this. So sorry about that. We will update you as soon as we can. All right. I think that is it. With that, we are going to leave you all. Is there anything else? No, we're all good. Thank you all for everything you're doing. We're in November. 2020 is nearing an end. Not the pandemic, but at least the calendar year is ending.
Yeah.
We can celebrate that milestone, and we've made it this far. So thank you for all you're doing. Please continue to do it. Please know we are here supporting you, and anything we can do to help, we're doing all we can. And please let us know if there's things you see that we can help with. But thank you again. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you,
Y'all
Jake.
have a good week, and we will see you next week. I'm going to stop the stream. Is that what I do?
Yep, you stop streaming and I'll see it on this YouTube part.
Here